Good afternoon, people. It is Wednesday, just about 7 p.m., June 12th. Getting this video out late. Beautiful day in the Northeast today. Went out, had to run some errands, and did some shopping also. And I snapped a few pictures. I mean, we're told there's no inflation. But when I went grocery shopping, I took a picture of some of the things I like to eat. One of them is chanterelle mushrooms. And if you could see this, chanterelle mushrooms, currently $34.99 a pound. I remember when they were $17 a pound. Not that long ago, okay? Chestnut Royales. $39.90, $40 a pound. Chestnut Royale mushrooms. Mushrooms are expensive. $40 a pound. Morel mushrooms. $34.99 a pound. Cherry moyas. I don't know if any of you eat cherry moyas. They're very nice fruit. $7.99 a pound. And I've seen them more expensive than that. Okay? The strawberries were $5.99 a pound. Cherries were actually pretty cheap, $9.99 a pound. So I don't know though. I mean, who's paying $40 for a pound of mushrooms? It seems rather pricey. But there's no inflation anywhere, according to our president. I don't know if you watched the gold price today. But I was following it intently all day because there was definitely a battle going on. I looked at gold last night, and it was up about $5, $6. Last night, 11, 12 o'clock. And then when I woke up this morning, it was up $7, $8, then $10. And it was looking really good. And then they started to hit it back down again. It reached about 1338.80, I think, was the high. And it went back down, it came back up, it went back down. There was a battle all day. It closed up about 5 and change, 1332. Still not out that 1340 level, though, and it's down in the after hours. So, but it's definitely the price action. There's definitely that tug of war going on right now. So there's a lot to talk about, people. So much in the news. Larry Kudlow is saying that he still expects 3% growth this year. Larry Kudlow says the U.S. economy will maintain 3% pace even without a China trade deal. I think we're in very good shape, and I think we'll maintain a 3% growth pace this year, Kudlow says. That 3% number is not contingent on a China deal that might not be satisfactory for American economic interests. Okay? He also says we should shrug off the release of the weaker than expected economic data last week, meaning that horrible jobs report. Okay? Kudlow shrugged off the release of the weaker than expected economic data from last week. The U.S. economy added just 75,000 jobs last month, the Labor Department said Friday. Right? Economists polled by Dow Jones expected 180,000 jobs. Meanwhile, manufacturing activity in the U.S. grew last month at its slowest pace since October 2016. I wouldn't put too much stock in 1 month's jobs number. There's lots of other evidence of a strong economy. Well, tell us what it is then, Mr. Kudlow. What's all this evidence of a strong economy? Now, according to the Atlanta Fed, okay, that GDP now, I just printed it out again, and they're expecting 1.4%, down from 1.5 just last week. Okay, so their numbers are going in the opposite direction, okay, than Mr. Kudlow's. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, as far as that job number goes, I got a big stack here. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to all of it. We shouldn't worry about that jobs number, 75,000, okay? But I talk about this side hustle all the time, right? Nearly half, 45% of U.S. workers earn additional income outside of their primary career, a recent Bankrate survey found. This includes 48% of millennials. So almost half the millennials have to have this side gig, right? The side hustle. The percentage of Gen Xers and baby boomers with a side hustle is slightly lower, coming in at 39 and 28% respectively. A lot of people are working side hustles because even though this sentence kind of floors me here. I have to laugh to myself when I read this sentence. A lot of people are working side hustles because even though the economy is strong, wages are stagnant. So the economy is strong, but wages are stagnant. If the economy is strong, why are wages stagnant? I don't understand that. Mr. Kudlow, can you please explain that to me? Because you're saying there's lots of other evidence and we should disregard this number, right? It means nothing. Explain to me how an economy can be strong, but wages can be stagnant. For a lot of Americans, expenses are rising, but there are no raises at work. Expenses are rising. I didn't think we had any inflation. I think the big news of today was this budget deficit. The budget deficit exploded for May, a record. I don't know if you can see that. That's May year over year. The one in red is the latest number. This next chart, federal government outlays. See, the government is taking in money, but they're shelling out more and more. And then this final chart right here, this is kind of small, what they're taking in to what they're taking out. They took in $2,275 billion. They took out $3,014 billion. So their outlays were greater than their receipts, basically. Where's the money coming out of? What's the big number? Social Security, $687 billion. Medicare, $483 billion. National Defense, $462 billion. So here's my question. In an aging population, with these baby boomers getting ready to retire and collect Social Security, right? We're already shelling out $687 billion in Social Security. This is cumulative year to date, by the way. These numbers are only going to grow. There's going to be less receipts, the green, and there's going to be more blue, the outlays. This is a mathematical certainty, people. What were we taking in? Basically, income taxes, $1,180 billion. But as the baby boomers retire, that number's going to go down. So these numbers are, the numbers are just, you can't get around these numbers. The demographics are not good. So I don't know. There's just so much. I have a lot more in the stack. I don't even know if we can get to it, quite frankly. There is one thing, though, also I want to talk about. This Charlie Evans. Chicago Fed President Charlie Evans said Tuesday that he is content with current Fed policy though he is worried about persistently low levels of inflation. There you go again. Persistently low levels of inflation. At a time when markets are anticipating at least 2 interest rate cuts before the end of 2019, Evans did not commit to any further loosening of policy as the market prices in looser policy and government bond yields sink to multi-year lows. At face value, it would suggest that the market sees something that I haven't yet seen in the national data. The market sees something he hasn't seen yet. Evans told CNBC's Steve Leisman during a Squawk Box interview from Chicago. He did say that the Fed needs to defend its 2% inflation target. They have to defend it. This 2% inflation. I don't understand this. Can somebody please tell me why do they have to have 2% inflation at all costs? And why does it have to be 2%? Why can't it be 1.9 or 2.1? What is so magical about 2%? They have to defend it. Indicating that if softness persists, that could warrant a closer look at policy. I definitely think that with inflation being a little on the light side, inflation on the light side, I don't know. This is inflation on the light side? $35 for chanterelle mushrooms? I remember when they were $17, I want to say about, I'll only go back about 6 years, 5-6 years, okay? They've doubled. They've doubled. Has your salary doubled in the last 5 years? I doubt it very much. But the inflation is on the light side. But the fundamentals of the economy continue to be solid. Except, of course, if you expect a raise now and then. The consumer is solid. We have to navigate this. We have to think through this, what this really means. What a joke this is. The uber arrogance of these people. So they're going to defend this 2% inflation rate, which means this symmetrical stuff where it's been persistently low for so long that we're okay if we're persistently high for so long because it will average out to 2%. Okay? This is all a ruse, people, to keep the stock market going. We need inflation. We need inflation. We're not seeing it anywhere. Let's cut rates. Maybe that will help us get this inflation. No, this is just to put a floor under the stock market. And the last couple of days, quite frankly, it hasn't worked. Stocks have been pretty much flat, okay? So this juice that the Fed wants to supply, maybe it's starting to, run out a little. What does that mean? More. You see, they still have not admitted that they've made a mistake. If anything, you know what they're going to say at the end? We didn't do it big enough. We needed more QE. Okay? It wasn't QE. That wasn't the problem. No, we didn't do it enough. Now we have to make it big enough. So this is where we're going, people. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. There's so much in the news. I had a lot more on this stack I'm not even going to get to. So, Lord willing, we pick it up tomorrow. You know what? It's a beautiful day out there. If you can get yourselves, go out, take a nice walk, and we'll see what happens overnight. I'm curious to see how gold does. It's down a little in the after hours. Curious to see how it finishes the rest of this week. Anyway, that's about it, people. Ciao.